Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Youth Have a Voice podcast. My name is Feolami Joseph, and today I am joined with the amazing Maryann Opatola. Maryann, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm just going to introduce you to everyone, and then if you have any other things to say, you can add it on. Okay? All right. So Maryann Opatola is a presentation designer and brand storyteller. She is passionate about designing captivating slide decks that leaves a lasting impact for both small and large business enterprises and converts buyers and investors. With a flair of evoking emotions through storytelling, she also breathes personality into brands and businesses. Beyond her professional endeavors, Maryann is a university student on a mission to empower young individuals to build their brands, businesses, and skills while pursuing their education. She is dedicated to volunteering in women's affairs and actively contributes to initiatives aimed at uplifting and supporting women in various aspects of their lives. In her spare time, Maryann writes soul-stirring poems, sayings, and dog walks. Is there anything else you'd like us to know about you?
I know, I don't think so. I think that's pretty it.
Okay. So you connected with me actually. That was how we met. We are both writers at the Teen Magazine. So the Teen Magazine is a global network of different writers online, and that was how we connected. I think this was about 3 or 4 months ago, or is it even in December? I don't remember, but that was how we connected, and we've been connection since. So I remember when I decided to start this podcast, I just thought based on what I had seen you post on LinkedIn, I just thought it would be nice to have you on as one of my guests based on some of the amazing things you post. And I recently found out today because I was looking at on something you posted earlier on in the afternoon. I found out that you are also a K-drama fan.
Okay, yeah, I am. I am. I don't mind how choked I am with work. I make
Mm.
sure that I watch an hour of K-drama every weekend.
Oh, I think that's
Yeah.
really cool. That's really cool. Um,
Yeah.
I use that as a stress reliever also with all the work I do. I try to find time to watch K dramas. That's a distressor for me actually with all the work I do. Okay, so what inspired you to start writing? Because that was how we met through the Teen Maxi. What would you say was your inspiration to begin to write? Why writing?
Well, I think I started writing when I was little, like little around 8,
Okay.
and I saw a poem of William Shakespeare, and I can't really remember what name of the poem was, but it was my sister's note, and I saw a poem, and I just loved how he wrote the
Mm,
words. And I asked my sister, okay, I love the way this poem is written. What's the name of this man, and what is his title? What is the profession? And she was like, okay, this is William Shakespeare, and he's a writer. And from that time, I was bent on I was going to be a writer in the future. And my mom was like, writers don't make money.
mm,
Anybody can be a writer. You can be a doctor and be a writer. You can be a nurse and be a writer. But you can't just be a writer on its own. You have to be something and be a writer. And I was like, then that's when I gave up on the thought of being a writer. I just pursued that I was going to be a lawyer afterwards. Then I entered into high school and I loved journaling all the time. There was this hardcover book that was raining at that time. So every time I journal and conversed with my diary. And then when I left high school, I opened a blog on blogger.com. It was a free site at that time. And I was posting poems and personal essays and creative writing. And at that time, I didn't even have like an audience. All I did was like post it on Facebook
mm,
and share with my audience on WhatsApp. And I think after 2 months, it got like 1,000 views, and that was like a big win for me.
mm,
And then after then, I think my sister paid for a master class so I could learn content writing and make money from it. That's when I stopped like the blogging, and then I started writing for others to make money. And then that's just really how my journey has been, how I picked interest in writing till now.
I think that's really cool. Starting your journey from little and then seeing it build up, and now you're doing it kind of professionally, right? Through content writing. And I know content writing is something that's really popular right now in terms of side hustles that students, even students in school, can do. And I know you're studying international studies. What's prompted you, or how do you think that ties into your degree right now in university?
Why I picked writing.
No, like in terms of international studies, how do you think that ties into your passion for writing?
Well, for me, I just loved the fact that um I could like for me, I ventured into writing, and like writing has helped me a lot in international relations because we do a lot of writing in school. And I think most of my lecturer will say we love the way that you write, you
Mm,
conduct your writing. So I think writing has been a big deal for me and has helped me in my degree and how I like structure my writings and stuff. And it has also helped me gotten like jobs already, like volunteering jobs for international organizations already, even without finishing my degree, just because of the skill of writing I have. I've been able to like volunteer to different social groups and help them like pass on messages and stuff like that.
okay, so you would say that writing is a skill that basically would open opportunities for you regardless of if you're ever stuck in anything. Would you say that? So writing is always a skill that will be needed.
Yeah, writing is like everything in this
Mm,
life. Like I think everything you have to do, you have to write a video. Even if you are someone who loves to like make videos, you have to write script first. So I think
yeah.
writing is a universal talent. Everybody should have it because everything you do in this world, it begins with words. So I think yeah, it's a universal talent everyone should have.
Yeah, I completely agree. And another thing I've noticed while going through your profile is that so it's one thing to write, it's another thing to storytell, and you kind of mix these two together in order for you to have formed a personal brand for yourself. So, in university, because I know you're in university, so you see a lot of students on a daily basis. So, a lot of students decide to pick up different entrepreneurship skills. So, they could decide they want to sell thrifted clothes, or they want to sell food, or they want to sell bags, for example. But they all have businesses. But the only problem is that they don't really know how to market their businesses to people. So, in what ways would you say that storytelling and writing would help students or young professionals build up businesses for themselves? Because I know you're really big on talking about startups and storytelling in terms of building a personal brand. And also, in terms of you, how do you think that has helped you to build a personal brand for yourself?
Okay, so in 2024, if you're a young person and you are not building a personal brand for yourself and you say you have a skill or you render services or you have a business, it's a no-no. That's wrong for you to be doing that in 2020. The significance of personal brand is that when young person A, for instance, and young person B have, let's say, the same skill, let's say young person A is skilled at graphic design and he's building his personal brand on it, sharing it on Instagram, posting his work, posting testimonials, posting educative content. And young person B, on the other hand, just post once in a blue moon, and all he does is like send 20 or 50 proposals for the rest, many of his time. You would see that definitely young person A has more urge and has more authoritative position in getting jobs than young person B. That's the power of branding in this 21st century.
Mm,
Branding like sets you in the position of authority and builds credibility. And then for storytelling, if you can be able to tell stories of your origin, of how you have built your brand, of how you started, of how you're going, no matter like if you're able to share your personal experience, especially on LinkedIn, personal stories work so well. So if you have the skill of sharing stories, it helps like your brand become more visible and more like authentic.
okay, thanks for sharing that. And based on how your personal brand is growing, for Gen Zs who may not really know how to really utilize the social media, or even young millennials who may not really know how to use social media to start their brands, how would you advise that they start? What tips would you say they need to be able to start building a personal brand based on your own experience of being able to build a brand for yourself at such a young age?
Okay, so first I would advise that you identify your passion. What's your passion? What do you love to do? If you're someone who loves to talk, maybe on if you're someone who loves the camera or who loves to talk to the video, I say that the best place to show forth your talent is on TikTok and on Instagram, because those are the platforms that are very video friendly. And if you're someone who loves to write, I would say you like showcase your work on Medium or
Mm.
LinkedIn. LinkedIn works so well with writing. So the first thing you have to do is identify your passion. Once you identify your passion, you identify your target audience. Now your target audience as a writer could be 60% of business or blog owners, and then 20% of other writers and 20% of other professions. Just like that, depending on how you want. So you have to know your target audience. And finding your target audience depends on what niche you're specializing on. There are some niches that are not like, so what would I call it? They're not popular. So it's really difficult to like know your target audience, especially when you're a beginner. So what you could do is go on Google or use like AI. AI could help you find your target audience. And if you are not able to still find a specific target audience, you could like go on Quora and ask the question. You could see professionals there. Quora is a platform that can answer your questions on who your target audience should be. Then if your niche is super, super, super not popular, what you can do is you look for, no matter how unpopular your niche is, you will find someone who has like attained a name in it. So you
Mm.
find a person and I think message the person and ask for help. If you cannot find someone in your niche that has attained it, I don't know, maybe a niche from Mars or Jupiter, I'm not sure. But then definitely, no matter how your brand, no matter your niche is specialized or is limited, there should be someone who has attained the level of experience in it. So you go to the person for help to know your target audience. So first identify your passion, know your target audience, and create content um that solves your target audience problem. That's step-by-step way to building your brand.
Thank you, Marianne. I completely agree. Social media has definitely been able to help people expand, especially with the rise of TikTok. TikTok is one of the leading social media brands in helping young people build up. That was even how I was able to build up my brand through College Guide Africa to reach more students and young professionals all over the world. But I have another question in terms of people who have big audiences but don't know how to direct their audiences to some of the bigger things they want to do. So, for example, let's say someone has a following of 10,000 people or even 2,000 people, but they don't know how to carry their audience along because maybe they have a low engagement rate and their audience are not really interested in what they're currently posting. What would you advise people with big audiences who want to be able to carry their audiences along with some of the new things they're going to be doing to do in order to retain a big growth with and carry their audience to know how to carry them along?
So if you are having a big following and your audience are not engaging with you, it means that you targeted the wrong audience, definitely.
Mm.
It's either you targeted the wrong audience, or on LinkedIn, what might happen is that you're having the right audience, but you are not engaging with people. On LinkedIn, if no matter what you are doing or who you are, if you are not engaging with other creators, nobody's going to engage with yours. That's for LinkedIn. But for other platforms, the thing is that you didn't like find the right audience. That's why I said when you want to build your brand, identifying your target audience is key. So what you would do in that situation is either you cut loose of all that following. That what people mostly do on LinkedIn is when you meet like professional LinkedIn professionals and you mostly this is like a very popular issue. What they do is that they remove all your followers and cut it down to like 600 from 10,000 followers because
Wow.
it's not of any use. It's not of any use actually. You have a business, but you have just wide following. Nobody's it's not of any use. So what they do is like cut your content and cut your
Followers.
following down. There's even a recent one I saw. He actually asked the guy with the issue to just delete the account and start again. That's what he asked him to
Wow.
do because it was very use. Yeah, because choose getting the right audience is key, really. If you're not getting the right audience and you have built a large following, that's so much work. So what you can do if you have not reached so much, or maybe you're in 2000 and you're not having engagement, what you can do is reduce those following and start connecting with your target audience. And when I mean by connecting with your target audience, engaging with them, DMing them, and sending personalized messages to them, and creating content that they want to see. Another issue is that some people might be engaging and they might have the right audience, but they're not creating content that their target audience want to see. Their content is like off their target audience problem. So you have to know your target audience and also know their problem. Once you know their problem, you need to create content that aligns with their problem. And that's when they begin to engage and say stuff like, oh my God, this post relates to me. Thanks for sharing. I really needed this and stuff like that. You have to know your target audience problem before you can provide solutions to them.
Okay, thank you. I'm just a bit curious. Why did you decide to start on LinkedIn? And for students who may be shy or anxious in showcasing themselves on the internet, how would you say they could go about that in a way for them to still keep their identity, but not but still showcase the work they want to show to people, especially if they are just shy people or introverted people in general?
Okay, so you actually just answered my question for the first one. The reason why I started on LinkedIn is because I am an introvert.
Oh,
So
I would never have
the thing
thought.
is that the thing is that when I say that LinkedIn is the best platform for introverts or people that are anxious, people think I'm insane, but it's actually the truth because you don't even get to post your pictures on LinkedIn. Once you can write well and once you can make engaging visuals on LinkedIn, you go far. Once you can communicate the message you want to communicate and you engage with people, that's all you have to do to build a good following on LinkedIn. You don't need any special thing. You don't have to have the best camera. You don't have to have a tripod or looking for lights and all this kind of stuff. So why I ventured into LinkedIn was that I'm an introvert and I don't like being on camera. So the best place for me to I actually wanted to start creating content on Instagram. I bought everything, but I was just not ready. I was not sure of myself. And LinkedIn, when I started on LinkedIn, I was like, this is the worst mistake I'm making. But as I kept on going, I found out that it was the best choice I made.
Mm,
LinkedIn will help you like you don't need to like have the um best tools to start creating content. You can just start with Canva. Canva as a tool, creating free Canva visuals that are attractive and engaging on free platform like Canva, and you have your Google Docs, which is free, and you write. And you learn every day from other creators and you create your visuals and you post. That is all you need on LinkedIn. So if you are an introvert, I won't say you definitely have to start on LinkedIn. If you, there are some introverts who love to create videos. There's some introverts who can like love to be on video. So if you're that kind of introvert, I would advise that you go on Instagram and TikTok and showcase your video friendly skills. But if you're someone who does not love the camera, you can start on LinkedIn. That's the best advice I would give.
Thank you very much. I think that's a really interesting topic to speak about. I think another reason why, so I am not an introvert, I'm extroverted, but at the same time, I don't know if I call myself an ambivert in terms of I like showcasing myself, but I also like my privacy. So
Yeah,
so sometimes you may want to post something, but maybe because of someone you know from the past, you're not really sure of how the person, sometimes you may have the tendency of thinking of what people who knew you at a certain stage of your life may think about, which is why I agree when you say that LinkedIn is a really good platform to start on because you don't really have to connect with people you know. For example, on LinkedIn,
exactly.
most of my connections are not people I really personally know on a day-to-day basis. And funny enough, I think it's funny that you find it easier to showcase yourself to strangers than people you know on a
You
day-to-day
know,
basis.
exactly.
And I think that really helps a lot in being able to build your confidence. So I would say that,
Yeah.
for
That
people.
worked for me too because I really last year I was really facing like different kind of doubts and low self-esteem, I would say. I had the skills, but I was just scared to like show up and show people what I could do. So what I wanted was when I like got recommendations on starting on LinkedIn, I was like looking for the social media that no one will know me. No one will know me at all. And when I said on LinkedIn, I made sure that anyone I knew or anyone that knew me, if they send me connection, I will reject it because I just don't want anyone to just know what I'm doing. Basically, like no one even knows me yet. I just like I just like have like two of my people going to my school who have known that like and they're not in my department, they're like different departments. So that's just cool with me. And I love it that way. I don't want anybody to know what I'm doing till I build that self-confidence that I can be able to show to other people what I'm doing and stuff like that. So I think LinkedIn is the best platform for those who are introverted.
100%. Would you say that self-confidence may come if you get bigger? Because I know that in certain cases, people become more confident when people can see that they're already established. For a lot of people, the problem is usually starting because they are scared of the mentality that people will think, what are they doing? But when they get bigger, they are now kind of confident to show their abilities because they know that they have a following that's backing them up. So, using you as an example, do you think that you may become more confident when you get to a certain stage or when you become bigger to a certain level?
Definitely. That's why like there's a lot of creators when I'm engaging a lot of LinkedIn creators, what they do say is that LinkedIn has helped them gain confidence. They
Mm,
were in that stage of their life where whenever they send their works to clients, clients will like reject it and make them feel have low self-esteem. So most people came on LinkedIn with the low self-esteem, like say syndrome or something. Most people came on LinkedIn without direction in life. They were just disappointed and unvalued. But creating content on LinkedIn and having a supportive community helped them gain confidence. So I would definitely agree that when I started on LinkedIn, I started being consistent on LinkedIn, I think um March, ending of February, and I started becoming consistent March this year. And just like entering into the second month, I have seen how my self-confidence has grew a lot. When I started, I was like scared what people would think, but I found out that nobody actually cares about you that much. Nobody
completely.
actually gives a shit, really. You just have
Yeah,
to do your thing, support people, and they'll support you back. Those who are genuine will um constructively criticize what you're doing and be open-minded to it and learn from it. That's the best way to grow. So LinkedIn is the best place. It's not like other places that they like once you make a mistake, they're just going to like yab you and stuff like that, like other social media platforms. LinkedIn is a place they will tell you you did well and someone and they will not even like there's one of a post I made when I was starting earlier on and it was a design like I posted on my Behance, and this lady like commented really nice on the comment, and then she went to my DM and told me you would have used a thicker or more stylish font because the design was so nice, but the font was not on the level of the design. And that's how people like give their advice to you. They don't like blast you openly. They come to your
Yeah.
DM and tell you like truly, genuinely. So I think, yeah, once you start on LinkedIn, your self-confidence begins to grow, definitely.
Yeah, I completely agree. So before we wrap up, I have one final question for you. For people who want to start writing or storytelling, what tips would you give them? How do you start as someone who has no experience in writing or storytelling at all?
Okay, I would say you should read lots of fiction.
Hmm.
That's the best way. Fiction will tell you how a storyline should be. Fiction will teach you tips and techniques of suspense and hooks. You know the way fictions are
Hmm.
and the way that they elaborate everything. Definitely, you don't have to elaborate so much like fiction on blogs and articles because they will complain that you're doing too much. But then if you want to learn how to be a storyteller, definitely you should read fiction. Stories that have storyline that you could read along. Also, you have to have a bit of copywriting skill. Not really a bit, like just have copywriting skills because copywriting skills are like it's a skill that persuades buyers to buy your words. Basically, copyright is like selling words. So um if you read fiction and you learn copywriting and you have a little skill on content writing, I think that's just the basic thing you need to know before, and you'll be good to go on storytelling.
Okay, thank you very much, Maryann. Is there any other thing you'd like us to know about you, your plans, your social media plans, your school plans, any
Well,
project?
from school plans, no, for my social media plan, I'm planning to keep posting on LinkedIn, but
Hmm.
then before the end of the year, I want to start posting on Instagram
Okay.
when well, like when I'm well prepared for it. I want to start posting on Instagram. And then I think a project I'm currently working on is that I want to create tons of templates that professionals and consultants can easily edit and use for their presentations. That's what I'm currently working on. And I know that will take a lot of time because it's going to comprise of business proposal presentations, infographics and data visualizations. So it's going to take a lot of time, but I'm working on that and to be ready soon, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. From our end, we will share with our network so that people can also support you and use some of the templates that you're going to be creating. I really enjoyed the conversation we've had today, and I'd like to thank you for joining the show today, Maryann. So
Thank you for
I will,
having me.
yeah, so I'll be sharing your LinkedIn for people to connect with you and any social media platforms you have. So I'd like to thank everyone for listening in to the conversation with today's episode of the You Have a Voice podcast. Make sure to follow and subscribe depending on what listening platform you're listening on, and I will see you in our next episode. Goodbye.
Bye.